In this episode of Gachiakuta, Rudo is cast from the pristine heights of the sphere into the unforgiving wasteland of the pit. A toxic, dumping ground, crawling with deadly creatures and hostile inhabitants. Struggling to survive, he encounters Enjin, a skilled fighter who reveals the pit's harsh truths and Rudo's rare ability as a giver. But survival is only the beginning. Rudo later crosses paths with Zanka, a powerful cleaner, and their clash turns into an epic and unconventional battle that proves Rudo's true potential. With new allies, dangerous enemies, and the promise of even greater challenges ahead, his journey in the pit takes a bold step forward. Now, let's break down everything that happened in this episode. Before his sentencing, Rudo observed the hypocrisy of the Spherite society. They obsessed over cleanliness, morality, and punishing those deemed criminal or unfit. Yet, once these individuals were cast into the pit, all concern vanished. It was as if what happened afterward no longer mattered. After being condemned, Rudo was thrown from the sphere and plummeted into the pit, a sprawling wasteland of rotting refuse and toxic air. Almost immediately, he was attacked by monstrous creatures known as trash beasts. These towering, animated heaps of garbage relentlessly pursued him through the foul terrain. Struggling to breathe in the poisonous atmosphere, Rudo searched desperately for shelter. As the hunt continued, despair set in. The pit seemed endless, a landscape of broken, lifeless wreckage with no safe haven. But rather than give in, Rudo's resolve hardened. Fueled by his hatred toward those who had branded him a criminal and by his desire to avenge his foster father, he swore he would survive and one day make them all pay. Starting with the masked man who had killed Recto. From a distance, Rudo's movements were noticed by another inhabitant of the pit. Moments later, he attempted a desperate stand against the trash beasts, managing to destroy one of them through sheer determination. At that moment, a skilled fighter named Enjin appeared, wielding a heavily modified umbrella. Enjin fought off the attacking creatures with expert precision. Enjin quickly explained that the trash beasts react to sound. But Rudo, unfamiliar with the pit's dangers, continued speaking loudly. The noise drew more of the creatures to their location. Forced into combat, Enjin unleashed the full power of his weapon, known as the Umbreaker Octashredder, obliterating the surrounding threats. Once the area was clear, Enjin approached Rudo to check his condition, introducing himself as a cleaner. Enjin made it clear that the air in the pit was far too toxic to breathe without protection. Rudo then lost consciousness. When he awoke, he found himself bound in chains, demanding to return to the sphere. Enjin explained that it was impossible for now. The sphere never stayed in one location for long, and reaching it from the pit was nearly impossible. Despite Rudo's persistence and demands for information, Enjin refused to provide details immediately. Instead, he abruptly left, allowing Rudo to be captured by locals. At first, the ground dwellers seemed amazed to meet a living spherite. However, their admiration quickly turned to hostility. They blamed the sphere for dumping endless amounts of waste into the pit, destroying their homes, poisoning their air and soil, and creating deadly monsters. They explained that spherites were considered valuable, their bodies, clothing, and possessions often sold for profit. Rudo was locked inside a cage, where his captors attempted to humiliate him by feeding him discarded food waste. To their surprise, he consumed it without complaint. It was during this exchange that they discovered his rare ability, the power of a giver, someone capable of granting life and power to objects. Realizing the danger, they tried to separate him from his weapon, but Rudo retaliated, using multiple empowered objects to overwhelm them. Just as Rudo was about to finish his attackers, Enjin returned. He intervened, preventing further bloodshed, and explained that the giver's ability came with physical backlash, but was recoverable with time. Enjin admitted he had abandoned Rudo earlier to confirm that he truly possessed the skill. Convinced of his potential, Enjin offered Rudo a place among the cleaners, an elite group dedicated to dealing with the pit's threats. Back in the pit, Enjin contacts Zanka with important news. While in no man's land, he came across Rudo, a rare natural, someone born with unique abilities. Recognizing his potential, although Rudo initially refuses, Enjin warns him that he has no real options in such a perilous environment. A local doctor treats Rudo's injuries and informs him of the dangers faced by spherites, those who come from above. In the pit, Enjin makes it clear that information here always comes at a cost, and that people like Rudo are often targeted. As Rudo explores his surroundings, he realizes that the pit is more than piles of garbage. It contains food, settlements, and even bustling cities. Enjin explains the concept of anima, the essence of emotions which can transform into energy. In some cases, this energy creates dangerous creatures known as trash beasts, which attack humans on sight. Enjin tells Rudo that these creatures can only be defeated with special tools called vital instruments. These instruments are infused with anima and can only be wielded effectively by certain individuals known as givers. Both Enjin and Rudo are givers, making them rare and valuable. Enjin invites Rudo to join the cleaners, promising that his boss might have information on how to return to the sphere. Rudo explains that his gloves, a gift from his late father, are the only keepsake he has left. Enjin advises him to continue putting his heart into them, recognizing their sentimental and potential combat value. Before leaving, Enjin sells Rudo's old sphere clothing to cover his medical treatment and lunch, even leaving him some extra cash. Rudo's brief moment of relief is interrupted when a cat-like thief steals his money. He chases the animal and encounters Zanka, a cleaner who mistakes Rudo for a thief trying to steal his treasured staff. Zanka confronts him and delivers a lesson on resolving conflicts calmly. Once Rudo apologizes, the misunderstanding is cleared, and they formally introduce themselves. Zanka, intrigued by Rudo's gloves, specs them and notes their impressive craftsmanship in an attempt to be friendly. Rudo tries, smiling, but unintentionally offends Zanka. The lighthearted exchange quickly escalates into a sparring match. During the fight, Zanka discovers Rudo's unique ability. He can turn any object he touches into a vital instrument. This rare skill confirms Enjin's earlier claim that Rudo is a natural. The spar takes a comedic turn when Rudo uses a plunger as a weapon, causing Zanka to panic and call for a timeout. Enjin arrives and finds the scene amusing, noting that the two have bonded through the unusual encounter. Despite the unconventional introduction, Enjin reassures Rudo that Zanka is one of the best trainers for controlling vital instruments. The group is then joined by Rio, another member of the cleaners, who greets Rudo warmly and playfully comments. On his hair, with introductions complete, Enjin announces that it's time to head to cleaner headquarters, the team's base of operations, and Rudo's next destination in this dangerous new life. If you enjoyed this recap and want more, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.